And they cancelled it on the day because everyone was so worried, weren't they, about what was the right thing to do, you know. So the BBC pulled me off. And now that's never got a laugh anywhere else.
Welcome to WatchMojo UK, and today we're counting down our picks for the most brutal stand-up comics in British history.
When Comedy Central was putting together the lineup for tonight, Ralph Macchio's name was at the very top of the list. And that list was marked worst case scenario.
Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos.
Number 10. Lee Mack.
Lend me those glasses for a second. What do you do, Nev?
I'm a lawyer.
You're a lawyer? Oh, hello. How old are you?
29.
29. What kind of law is it? Connolly, sure you're not a welder?
One of the most quick-witted comics on the scene today is easily Lee Mack, not to be confused with the French Big Mac.
How long? Have you?
No idea how funny that is.
That's the weirdest heckle anyone's ever given me. But over the front just went, you've no idea how funny that is.
This has made him a TV staple for decades now.
You'll find I know exactly how funny it is. That's why I'm stood up here in the West End, you daft twat.
Mack often devastates his co-stars on panel shows, plus sometimes he doesn't even hold back with game show contestants. He hosts the 1% Club and once got into trouble for commenting on a contestant's nose, which led to widespread outrage on Twitter.
In a minute when I say knock knock, just say who's there, don't go, that'll be someone at the door! Oh, it's real! It's real! You don't know how funny this is!
Try your best not to heckle him, unless you're interested in getting verbally decimated by the Lancastrian legend's sharp wit.
Do you do that when you're watching drama? Just stand up and go, you don't know how sad this is! You're making me cry!
Number 9. Julian Clary.
This is a horn.
I think so.
What's this?
That's a barbecue fan.
But you've got a barbecue, have you?
Yes, I've got a barbecue. I built it with my friend Ben.
You've got a friend.
The flamboyancy of Clary made him a memorable figure, but it's his unique flavour of risque comedy that made him stick around for decades. He first began stand-up in the early 80s, then made it onto television within a few years.
You suit a caravan. I can imagine you sitting in a lay-by, opening a tin of spaghetti hoops.
Very me.
Clary's most iconic series was easily Sticky Moments, a satire and barely competitive quiz show that showcased his talents perfectly. In 2023, he was invited onto Taskmaster, where he would constantly throw shade towards Alex Horne.
Julian has developed an incredible technique for saying things to Alex that are seemingly innocent, but yet are so damning.
It feels rare to see someone brutalise Horne more than Greg Davies, but we love to watch it.
That's not my problem, is it? There you are.
Number 8. Sir Billy Connolly.
Oh, the local guys. Hey, Bill, come here. Do you know what guys said to me? Wait, I tell you this. You say people talk to you and you like them. People talk to me, I hate them.
Affectionately called the Big Ian in Scotland, according to numerous outlets, he's Britain's greatest stand-up comedian ever.
Yeah, you're a beautiful kind of guy. I'm always like this. You know, my father said I was like a tramp looking out of a hayloft.
And it's easy to see why, given his sharp tongue, stellar routines, and when he needs to be, he's absolutely savage. This is reflected not only by his responses to hecklers, but also by the hilarious stories he tells.
But she was standing there, and I went, hello. Do you know that elevator behaviour? Although my very favourite is to stand behind people and go.
Despite earning a spot on this list, he's never cruel, something a lot of modern comedians can't replicate. Make sure to avoid him if you're sensitive to swearing though, as every other word in one of his routines is a curse word.
She's standing there, and I went, hello, how you doing? She said, just fine. And there was a wee silence, and then she says, bad hair day. I said, no. Fat ass dick.
Number 7. Sean Locke.
People say to me, why are you having a go at Jeremy Vine? I say, because I hate him. Seems a good reason, enough. I do. I don't like Jeremy Vine.
It's been years since we tragically lost Sean Locke in 2021, but that doesn't mean he's become any less adored by Brits. During his life, he earned a reputation for being one of the wittiest comics on the scene.
They're just ways to wind the country up, make the country an unhappier, angrier place, don't they? Yeah. What?
Locke's style was remarkably deadpan and surreal, adding extra weight to his sassy one-liners.
I think that sounded like 8th century Norse. It's Jeremy Vine, I've just realised.
He first rose to prominence through his radio shows, 15 Minutes of Misery and 15 Stories High, with the latter being adapted into a TV series. He then began appearing on a plethora of panel shows, but 8 out of 10 Cats was where you were guaranteed to see him.
Sneak in, I've heard about this routine. I'll have a couple of supertenants.
Number 6. Finn Taylor.
What has been your experience so far with NFL football here in your home country?
I know very little about it, I'll be honest. I watched the OJ documentary.
Sure.
So I know he's innocent, that's all I know.
That's right.
And then you had the...
Few comics can match Taylor's ability to be simultaneously provocative and woke. Taylor first became known through his Edinburgh Fringe shows, and has been on a few panel shows in the years since.
You have Peyton Manning.
Yes.
Yeah. And then, so he played for ages, and then he had a sex change. He's now Chelsea Manning, is that right?
I think that's inaccurate.
Now he's primarily known for his shows Finn vs. the Internet and Finn vs. History.
Well, cricket fans they'll probably have a mortgage and a job.
Sure.
And a relationship.
Finn, you're going hard on the NFL fans.
One of our personal favourite moments of his was his interview on the NFL talk show Good Morning Football. He's never watched American football before, and it's America's biggest NFL show, so their decision to invite him on is beyond perplexing, but it made for hilarious television.
You want an English great. You want Graham Gooch.
Graham Gooch, anybody?
If you went into Soho shouting "I love Gooch," they know exactly what you're on about.
Number 5. Stewart Lee.
A lot of the monarchists, they left little Paddington Bear dolls outside Buckingham Palace. That was all right. So what happened to them? The royal footman gathered them up and they were given to Prince Andrew to use as bait.
Another comic who manages to be remarkably savage while never becoming cruel is Stewart Lee.
You got a little Paddington Bear doll there in the grass by the swings. Next to that, some kind of stick or a sceptre stuck into the ground. On top of that, the lid of an empty Pizza Express box.
According to The Times, he's the comedian's comedian, and in 2018, they named him the best English language comedian in the world.
They crawl in there. I submitted that joke to a Sunday newspaper, and they said, we can't really print that. Can you rewrite it?
Lee began his stand-up career in 1989 and has been popular since. He's responsible for a ton of iconic comedies. For instance, he collaborated with the troupe The Mighty Boosh, helped create Alan Partridge, and co-wrote the acclaimed musical Jerry Springer the Opera. The latter was so controversial that it led to over 55,000 complaints, mainly from Christians who considered it blasphemous.
I put the royal footman gather up the Paddington Bear dolls and give them to Prince Andrew to use as he sees fit. And they said, that's worse, really. Because of what's left unsaid.
Number 4. Jimmy Carr.
I was going to talk about Christie's career, but it's like trying to punch fog. There's nothing there. Nothing. There are ISIS sleeper cells with higher profiles.
Regardless of whether you like Carr or not, most people agree he can take a roast as well as he can give one. This has made him a go-to for celebrity roasts and ruthless panel shows.
Obviously, I don't know much about American football, but I'm told Peyton Manning is one of the top 3 quarterbacks in his family.
A lot of people find he goes a bit too far, on account of a handful of controversial jokes.
Rob Riggle claims he used to be a Marine. But he also claims he's now a comedian, so I don't know what to believe.
For instance, the Prime Minister's office got involved after a 2011 joke of his about amputees.
Rob Riggle claims he used to be a Marine. But he also claims he's now a comedian, so I don't know what to believe.
Most people are more put off by his fake laugh than his edginess, though, which he allegedly practices before every performance.
I looked it up on the internet and Google said, me either.
Number 3. Joe Brand.
Because I've always had a weight problem. You know, when I was a teenager, I remember going to see the careers mistress and she said, what do you want to do? I said, well, I'd like to be a nurse or get married. She went, better be a nurse then.
Originally, Brand was a psychiatric nurse, but after working the job for a decade, she pivoted to comedy.
So there were 2 teenage boys. I went, cool, lads, look at that minger. What a blinking minger that is. And they went, oh, for Christ's sake, it's Minger. And that's our mum.
It turned out to be a brilliant decision, as people loved her initial career as the sea monster, and things only went up for Brand from there, with her becoming a mainstream comedian in the 1990s.
Because I had Blunkett there, I had Cherie Blair there. Tony Blair came along the row, shaking everyone's hand, got to me and said, thanks for doing this, Joe. Kiss me. On the lips. Trying to get his tongue in.
The way she tells jokes is incredibly unique, rarely sounding like she isn't bored out of her mind. She's not immune to controversy, though.
Got up to do my speech, Blunkett had undone my bra. Because they're mad for it. They are.
In 2019, on the show Heresy, she made a joke about throwing battery acid on politicians, which drew the attention of both the police and Theresa May. She faced no legal repercussions, but the quip was promptly edited out.
You know, because I was brought up in a little country village, the only thing we had to do at the weekend was bell ringing. Now, I don't know if anyone's tried that, but it's much harder than it looks, which I believe is something John Prescott says to a lot of women that he meets. But
Number 2. Ricky Gervais.
Listen, I still feel a bit bad for it, right? Mel's forgotten all about it, apparently. That's what drinking does.
When you think of savage comedians, we imagine Gervais as one of the first that comes to mind.
Honestly, I like a drink as much as the next man. Unless the next man is Mel Gibson.
It's easy to see why if you watch any of his material. He first rose to fame after writing and starring in The Office, where he played the awkwardly edgy boss, David Brent. In person, he holds back just as much as Brent did.
Yeah. I love seeing Ricky once every 3 years because it reminds me to get a colonoscopy.
This has led to some hilarious interactions that feel straight from The Office, like all his jabs at Mel Gibson.
Well, if you'd left your drink here, you don't need to leave your drink here. I'll put you to sleep another way, son of a bitch.
Listen.
Yes.
Can I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
Even if his jokes are a touch too offensive for you, everyone will agree that he's one of Britain's most influential comedians.
So, there's your racist for you. So...
Number 1. Frankie Boyle.
I mean, the naivety of Al-Qaeda trying to bring religious war to Glasgow. We're 400 years ahead of you guys. You've not even got a football team.
One of Glasgow's finest exports is easily Frankie Boyle, who became a household name in the 2000s after his time on Mock the Week. He doesn't hold back ever, leading many to find his dark humour far too offensive.
People are saying after Brexit that British people don't trust experts anymore. I don't think that's the problem. I think the problem is that British people have strong opinions based on nothing at all.
One of his jokes aimed at Katie Price's son led to her threatening legal action.
I like the fact that early on in French history, 2 French people sat down and decided whether nouns were men or women. Literally the most pointless thing that you could do.
One time, the reverse happened, with the Daily Mirror calling him racist, then Boyle sued them for libel and won. Afterwards, the £50,000 he won was donated to charity too. Over the years, he's grown a dedicated and loyal following, showing us all he's here to stay.
So we elected Theresa May. We didn't even elect her. She just wandered in there like she'd stepped out of a haunted mirror.
Who do you think is the most brutal comedian, and did they make it onto our list? Let us know in the comments below.